CFI sweethearts! What a wonderful weekend to be alive! I am very grateful to be able to come to you again with part 1 of episode 15 of the Coming For You podcast, aka CFI official podcast. My name is Maximiliana, and I'm very, very, very delighted to host my friend Rodney Rikhotso as we are having a conversation about tips on scholarship opportunities. And I'm telling you, this is a must-listen episode. Rodney, how are you doing?
I'm good, Maxi. Thank you so much for having me today on your podcast.
And how is UK?
It's quite hot. The past few days it's been very, very warm, but it is not that warm compared to where I'm coming from in South Africa. So I'm managing, but people are crying here, and I'm like, it's not hot.
How hot can it get in South Africa?
Sometimes around 43 degrees. I've experienced 43 degrees, but I know that, and there are other parts that can even go beyond that. So here, sometimes it's gonna be maybe 25, 26, and people are crying. I'm like, come on, it's not that hot.
How did you survive 43 degrees? I don't know how you are alive. How are you alive?
I mean, we were born in Africa. We get used to the hot conditions, and so even our bodies adjust to living in such an environment, So
Yeah.
and that makes it easier when you go to a place like here in the UK, people are like, no, it's hot at 80. We still manage because we used to it. That's an advantage, actually.
All right, then, Rodney, thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for accepting our invitation to come to our Coming For You podcast. The biggest essence of our podcast is that we want to come for people. We know a lot of people need information, and today we are going to provide them with a very vital information about scholarship opportunities, particularly funded scholarship opportunities to come to start in abroad. If you want to go to maybe America or you want to come to Europe, there are so many scholarship opportunities out there for you to apply, and you never know, you will get them. We are also scholarship recipient. We received Ireland Fellowship Program scholarship in 2021, and then we graduated in 2022. We both studied in Ireland. We pursued our master's degrees in Ireland, and I invited Rodney Rikhotso because Rodney has been very passionate about scholarship opportunities, especially sharing, and he actually has a YouTube channel that particularly speaks about scholarship opportunities from a variety of countries. So he does the research, he searches for the scholarship opportunities, and he shares them in his YouTube channel. That's why I thought it was very important for me to invite Rodney Rikhotso, my friend from South Africa. Okay, so Rodney, I think we can now deep dive into our conversation, yeah? Can you please talk us through the scholarship types?
All right, great. The first thing that I can mention is that obviously, like, the information that I share is based on my experience and also my research, and this does not limit, people from doing further research about funding opportunities if they want to pursue those academic goals. So basically, Maxi, in terms of scholarship types, we got different types. So there's actually fully funded scholarships that normally I focus on, and there are also partially funded scholarship. And lastly, there are also self-funded. Those who've got more money to pay for themselves. The ones who are just privileged to have such. So in terms of the fully funded, so these are just all expenses type of scholarship, just like the one that I used in yourself, Maximiliana, the Ireland Fellows Program, which just pays the fees and accommodation stipends, and and also those flights and also visas. So that's that. But normally, in terms of the partially funded ones, it means that they might say that it's 50%, or they are paying only for fees, and then you're gonna cover the rest of the expenses yourself, either it's flight and visa and accommodation. And so those are the two dynamics in terms of the types of scholarship that are available. So, but it is also important, Maxi, to indicate that with scholarships, there are those that are funded by governments, and there are also those who are funded by the private sector or even the NGOs. With the aim, of course, of achieving certain goals, which at this point in time, we've seen that most of the scholarships are aimed at achieving the sustainable development goals of the United Nations, which is Vision 2030. For example, for fighting against poverty, hunger, health, and also quality education. So there are 17 sustainable development goals that people can also explore that. So in a nutshell, these are the types of funding opportunities that are available out there. Before we deep dive into the specifics here.
Yeah, okay. That's very interesting, Rodney. I think that it's important to also know that these scholarship types can also be merit-based. Sometimes there are culture exchange opportunities. And sometimes there are also specialized fields of scholarships. For example, maybe people who are pursuing, their professions in science and maybe climate change and stuff like that. And how about the application processes, Rodney? How is it?
I think obviously like different scholarships have got different application processes. So for example, you might find one scholarship that is just 3 pages, short and sweet. That's it. And you might find one that has got like 20 pages, or even less than that though. But basically, what happens is that these processes are quite rigorous. They are quite tough. Not to scare people, as I'm saying, it's different, but because these are highly competitive types of awards that so many people from all over the world, depending on the type of scholarship, and the country that is being advertised for, they are highly competitive in a way that, thousands of people will apply. So meaning that even the selecting process is going to be so tough. And again, to also understand that, so with these scholarships, because they are looking for specific qualities from individuals, whether they are looking at academic excellence, as you also mentioned, Maxi, in terms of maybe cultural exchange, like what is it that you are bringing into the table? What is it that they should offer this scholarship to Rodney and not you, Maximiliana? So and so there are those dynamics that are involved, but most importantly, it is the strength of how you motivate yourself to the panel to say, I deserve to be awarded this scholarship because this is what I'm bringing to the table, or this is what I'm willing to achieve. Because it is also important for your listeners, Maxi, to take into consideration that with scholarships, they want you to give back somehow to your country, if it's country specific, and also the conditions that are involved. To say that, what, the skill that you're going to achieve, you should be able to give back to your country. But obviously that's a different context in terms of like, what is it that you are going to study. So what I can say, maybe in terms of like what is it that maybe will increase somebody's chances of securing a scholarship. I have, in my experience of having applied for scholarships, getting rejections, and and getting to a point where I got awarded a scholarship. So there were a lot of learnings that I picked up along the way. So what I can say is that it is also important for the applicants to read about what the scholarship aims to achieve, because that one is very much important. If this scholarship is about climate change, so it means that even your motivation, it will be able to align with what they're able to achieve in terms of doing climate change. Yeah, and also sometimes, as I'm saying, there's a purpose for every funding that is advertised. So for one to align themselves with that, and also, writing a compelling personal statement, because all these applications for scholarship, you have to write a personal statement in terms of why are you applying the scholarship and why are they do you think that they should award you and not the next person. So that is also something I thought that it's important just to consider in these scholarships, Maxi.
I would agree with everything that you said. In fact, I would insist on the preparing for the application processes, because you mentioned there the way the process is. This process, as you said, is very competitive, and it involves a lot of maybe writing essays, transcripts, letter of recommendations. You would have to provide letters of recommendation from your your previous academic institutions, and also you have to be able to meet deadlines. So I think these application processes for scholarships, especially the full funded ones, are very competitive, and people need to really work for it. You can't be just a lazy person and expect to get a scholarship. No.
No.
These are for people who are very determined and who really are very keen into meeting deadlines and stuff like that. So if you are a little bit lazy, I don't think this is going to work for you. And so, moving forward, Rodney, what are the tips for success? I know we already talked about a lot, including being able to meet deadlines and stuff like that. But maybe,
Mhm.
do you have particular tips that you can air out there for people to be able to follow them to get scholarships? And
Yeah, of course, Maxi. So the first tip that I give to people is apply for as many scholarships as you can. So in order to broaden your chances of of success, because as we've said that so many people apply for these scholarships. So the more you apply for more scholarships means that you even have more chance of even getting some. So for example, I know of people who have received maybe 3 offers from different scholarships, so they had more room to even choose which one was best. And secondly, I can say that what, research on the organization you are applying to, look at what is it that they're aiming to achieve, so that your personal statement or those essays that you may write, they are aligned to what they want to reach. Because it is going to be pointless if now they are trying to achieve something and then you don't even talk about it. So that one is it's important. And third, Maxi, writing a compelling personal statement. I know that sometimes people will say, like, can you send me a copy of any personal statement that you've written before? And that's not relevant. Like, no, we can't do that, because it's about yourself. You talk about your experience, whether it's work experience, your personal experience, your educational experience. Like, that personal statement gives the panel an idea of who Rodney is, who Maxi is, so that so that even when they've read your story, your background of what is it that you are bringing, why you want this scholarship, they even get more interested in inviting you to the interview just to hear more about your story. And then, so as I've said, write your own personal statement. Don't get others to write it for you. But after I've written, you can always give to other people just to review, to say, like, how does it sound? Because sometimes we even make grammatical errors. We don't even realize those were the ones who wrote it. And also, explaining more in details why you should deserve the award, why you and not the other person. And then, and also the last thing, Max, that I can mention is that in terms of the program that you want to study, clearly outline how is this going to make a difference in your life, in your career? How is this going to impact your community, impact your area of influence? So I think those are just the few tips that I can give in terms of success.
oh wow, that's interesting, Rodney. This information you provided is very, very important. The thing that I can add from there is that for you to be able to succeed in this, you have to be able to maintain strong academic record. So this
Mhm.
is for people maybe who are aiming to apply for scholarship maybe 3 years to come, and maybe you are doing now your undergraduate or your diploma or something. So you try to work hard on your studies so that at least your academic record is clear. Maybe get yourself a first class or an upper second. That is going to be beautiful for the scholarship. And also another thing is, at least on your application, for you to succeed, you should also be able to maybe showcase your extracurricular activities, such as maybe volunteerism activities.
Yes.
If you have volunteered somewhere just out of your class, on the application process is going to be very, very important.
Yeah, you are very, very right. Because they also want your uniqueness. So you're right that it's supposed to bring something that makes you look very different to the other applicants. And sometimes even those voluntary work that we do, sometimes we think it's insignificant, and that is critical. And I think, like, for those Maxi who are still maybe at university level, still studying, if there are volunteering opportunities at your university or community, you should do it. That can work to your advantage. So thank you for bringing that one, Maxim.
Thanks, Rodney. So I think moving forward, Rodney, would you mind telling them about the destination countries? Because some people are so indecisive of, they're not sure which country is the best to go. They're not sure which continent. Would you mind sharing what you always share on your YouTube channel, like in terms of the countries that they should go?
Basically, like, scholarships are advertised for countries from countries all over the world. But we know that normally the popular ones will be the UK, Ireland, USA, or Canada, even Asia. China. China has also been advertising scholarships. So it's going to be different places. And sometimes, for example, you may want to go and study in the US, and only to find that like you don't have, there is no specific scholarship that will be in line of your field of study. But you might find that maybe it's there in Europe. So that those are the dynamics in terms of what is that is available. But for example, Max, I know that currently for China, there is a scholarship known as the Schwarzman Scholarship that is closing on the 19th of September 2023 to study in China for a master's in, I think it's global affairs, which is quite a very, very fully funded scholarship, And we know for the UK, from the 12th of September, the Chevening Scholarship is opening for a master's level, which is one of the biggest scholarship all over the world, which, people can also check it out and just see if they can be able to apply. So it's different countries, sometimes it's all about people doing their research, but I will say that, normally it will be good for those who are, from English-speaking countries or who are able to speak English to go to these countries, because sometimes to go to a country where they speak a different language, it must also be a challenge to adjust. But we are different, and some people are learning faster. So yes, it depends what you're looking for.
Absolutely. I quite agree, Rodney. And just in addition to that is I would really, really want to advise people to be flexible on their decision of where exactly you want to apply for a scholarship. Some people are very keen to go, for example, to America, to say, I really need to go to study to America. In fact, I need to go to New York, something like that,
Yeah.
How young people think they want to go to New York so that they can record a reel playing a New York song in the background. Can you imagine? So I would advise for people to be very flexible. You can come to Europe, and after coming to Europe, you can pursue your master there, and then Europe will open other opportunities for you.
Yeah.
You can go to the US, and also you can go to the UK, and then UK will open up another opportunity for you to be able to go to US. That's how things go. So don't close yourself in one room saying you are waiting for scholarship to go to America. No.
Yeah.
So I would really, really advise for people to be flexible. It's just like me now. I'm in Ireland, but I can go wherever I want now. Like, not that randomly, no, but there is a way it's simple for me to travel to other countries in the world because I'm already here. When you are in Europe, it's a bit flexible. It's still complicated still because we need to have like visas, and sometimes securing even an appointment for a visa can be very complicated, but still it's doable. So I would really advise people to wake up and stop thinking about one country.
Absolutely. Yeah. Totally agree. Because I think like it also comes back to, you can just apply as many as there are so that then you'll be able to decide where to go. So yeah.
Thank you very much, Rodney, for accepting our invitation to join us in our podcast. We are really, really grateful for every contribution you provided for this podcast. And also, we hope that our CFI podcast listeners are going to gain a lot of knowledge and information in this episode. So, this is the end of our episode. And thank you very much for those who have been subscribing to our YouTube channel. And I request those who are yet to subscribe to kindly subscribe to our YouTube channel. Just go and search CFI Official Podcast. We are also using the same name on TikTok and on Instagram, so you can just search CFI Official Podcast. Just to let you CFI sweethearts know that when you subscribe to our YouTube channels or when you follow us on our social media platforms, you validate our work, and it will mean that we are more motivated to host more meaningful conversations like this. And thank you very much for all our CFI sweethearts for listening to this episode, and I am really, really looking forward to come to you with part 2 of episode 15 next week. So hope you are going to get time to listen to it again, and I hope that you are going to get more information and useful information about scholarship on the part 2 of episode 15. So stay tuned and bye for now. Bye bye.